Hey YouTube, it's Echo Bear, and today I want to read an app for you guys. It's called Fire Emblem Heroes. Now before I get into talking about this app and why I like it and all that fun stuff, let's get through some serious stuff. So Fire Emblem Heroes is the newest addition in Nintendo diving into the app development world. And the release date for this app was February 2nd, 2017. So, first things first, I need to clear something up. I have never played a legitimate Fire Emblem game in my life. I have played the characters from Fire Emblem when I've played Smash games, but that's about it. But on the other hand, the method in which you play through this game, I have played stuff similar to it before, so hopefully it balances out. So pretty much the basis of Fire Emblem Heroes is apparently all of the different Fire Emblem games take place in different worlds, and you as the player character is kind of the catalyst between all of those worlds, and you can summon heroes from all these different worlds to fight off the main baddie. I think the plot is kind of convoluted and kind of boring, and most of the time you just kind of want to less talk, more rock, let's get to the fight kind of mentality to it. But as far as I've gathered, you're that character, you put in your name, and that's what the three starting main characters call you, and then as you progress through the game, you get to meet the other characters from other Fire Emblem games. I know you get to run into Marth and Roy and the big name characters from this series. And right now, since this is the first week that this game is out, it's still really new to everyone. I'm still learning a lot about it. I have a bunch of friends that are playing it with me, and we're all still learning as well. So it's definitely a game that helps if you do have friends playing it with you, because I was missing a huge chunk of stuff that I could have been doing to level up my characters and make them stronger, which wasn't pointed out until my friend Hatdog and LilySteam44 pointed it out to me. So after that, I got a lot better at the game, surprise. But it's definitely set up in the style of chess meets a Japanese RPG. So pretty much you have your 4 characters that make up your team, the opposing side has their 4 characters, and you have to take turns in move a certain amount of spaces that your character is allowed. Once you get within a certain amount of spaces, certain characters can attack other characters, and others you need to be right next to it to attack. So it's a strategic game, it's a lot like chess. It has a lot of elements of Japanese role-playing games where you have items that you collect to level up the character, different items for different things needed for different types of leveling up, and it's ridiculously confusing, and I don't know how people have figured this out as well as they have, because this game has, again, not been out for even a week when I've reviewed this. But that being said, all the confusion aside, it's an awesome game. I've played a lot of games like this before that are just ridiculously similar in concept and execution that just are kind of boring. The character designs are lackluster, they're kind of boring. The attacks and combat system are just really boring, and you can either use an auto attack function, which this has, mind you, or you can just space out and just spam attacks until you win. So far, Fire Emblem Heroes has been actually really entertaining. I'm about at chapter 7 right now. My team consists of Paula, Niles, Tiki, and Camilla. I have no idea what games they're from. I don't know anything about their character backgrounds, but I love them. They're my team, and they're all 4 stars, so they kind of kick ass. But going from that, it's really easy to learn what characters are good in what position, what you can do, what you can't do with them, and just learning the limits and figuring out how to play the game in a way that works really well for you. It has all of the traditional methodology of you have this area for storytelling, this area for collecting items to level up, this area for player versus player, this area for special events that are done by Nintendo, and then another one which I haven't unlocked yet. So there are a lot of things that are really similar to a lot of other games out there, but Nintendo has kind of put its own spin on it by throwing all of the Fire Emblem characters at it. Is it super creative or new? No, but so far the only really creative thing that Nintendo has done in the App Store is Pokemon Go. So it does fit in with like the playstyle of the App Store and all of that. I can't compare it to any sort of gameplay from Fire Emblem games because I've never played any of those games. So for what it is compared to what other things I've seen in the App Store, it's very comparable and a very good game. This game also is very, very generous with your summoning items, which is a lot different from a bunch of other games that I have played, where literally your only option is to pay a lot of money to get any sort of summoning items. Whereas in this game, pretty much every time you complete a section of a story chapter, you get an orb, which are used to summon characters. It does cost quite a bit because the initial one is 5 and then they go down as you continue summoning, which is okay. Like if you go in with like 25 or 30 orbs, you're definitely going to be able to summon every character that is available to you. And the random number generator in this game is cruel because I have yet to get a 5-star hero where I've seen other people with like 6 5-star heroes. So it's just a lot of it's up to luck, and if you like luck-based games, if you like luck-based games or just things that kind of rely on chance to get good or better heroes than you would otherwise get, I definitely think this is a fun app that you should check out. So as far as the combat, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but it kind of falls back on the laurels that a lot of these games do of just giving you the autoplay option, which personally I don't mind. Most of the time the game makes really good decisions for you, and if you're stuck and don't know what to do or you're stuck on a level, letting the game autoplay itself just to get ahead and like continue on is a very good option. Also, if you don't want to grind for items or grind through specific things, or if you don't really want to pay a lot of attention to the app and you just want to be here for the story, autoplay is a really good option. If you don't do autoplay, the combat and mechanics of this game are still easy enough to understand that you don't really need it. So music-wise, it's a Nintendo game. It's very well orchestrated, it's very nice. All of the art, there's one complaint I do have with the art because you can tell like what Fire Emblem characters are from older games versus Fire Emblem characters from newer games, because the art styles differ heavily. So when you have like a character like Camilla going up against a character like Raven, I think his name is, the art styles clash really heavily, where one has very thick lines, they're very blocky and very simplistic, and the other ones are very like detailed and thin lined. Like the art styles do kind of clash here and there, but that's not a horrible thing. Is it ideal? No, not really, but it's just kind of a nitpicky thing that I've noticed, where it's like, this is Nintendo, they have the full power and full assets to redo like 2 or 3 sprites to make sure they're all consistent throughout the game, but they didn't. So that is why I push it a little harder, because Nintendo is a massive company and this should have been easy for them. So despite the style clashes that you see here and there, it's still a very cohesive game. Like, you have characters just interacting with each other, you can hear your character talk to you for some reason. I've yet to understand the motivation behind that, but getting sweet talked by Camilla and Niles is hell yeah, why not? Why did I say that? But it's just, there's a lot to this game, it's a lot of fun. For everything this app has, honestly, I can't really give it anything but a 10 out of 10. It's brilliantly executed, there's very few things wrong with it, it's not glitchy, it's very fair. The RNG is cruel, but RNG is always cruel. So for everything this app has, I genuinely think it's a 10 out of 10. It's a lot of fun. I think you should definitely try it out, even if you haven't played any Fire Emblem games before. Playing it definitely makes me want to play Fire Emblem games in the future, just because now I'm curious about the characters and what their stories are. But I'm busy and I'm broke, so I probably won't. But in the future, when I do have money, when the YouTube train comes rolling in, we're playing a Fire Emblem game. But yeah, as always, I'll leave links in the description. Like, if you guys don't already know it, I think it's being advertised like crazy on the App Store right now. But links in the description if you guys haven't seen it and want to try it out. Make sure to stay to the very end of this video to see some other stuff that I've done that is similar to this game. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave likes and comments down below. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!